Hello, my name is Maria and I am 14 years old. So, yeah, I decided that I would like to talk about some things that I was thinking about and that were happening in my life, and I would use YouTube as a kind of my diary where I would talk about stuff. God. Okay, so I think every single person in the world has kind of trauma from their childhood, and I would just like to talk about mine. I had a lot of different experiences as a kid, and I had an amazing childhood, to be honest, and it was awesome. But I don't think I will talk about everything that happened to me in this video. I would just like to talk about two things that happened to me in my life that kind of left an impact on me as a person, as a teenager, and yes. So I was born in Ukraine and I was raised there. I was living there until I was 11 years old, and I had to move to France because of some reasons. I would not talk about them today because, I don't know, I would not just, yeah. And as I was a kid, I had a dream. So I was born in a city called Odessa in Ukraine, which is very close to the sea, and it's very, very beautiful. I love Odessa. It's like my favorite city in the world. And we have a theater of ballet and opera, and so every Christmas me and my family, we used to go there on the Nutcracker, and we were watching dances. It was so, the atmosphere was great because it was snowing outside and there was a lot of snow and Christmas, and it was so pretty, yeah. So since then I fell in love with ballet, and I always wanted to be a ballerina. So my parents were not quite okay with that because my father is a doctor, so he doesn't really consider this the job. And my mom is an artist. I mean, she's a designer and a photographer, but she was okay with that, but she knew that it's very hard as a thing to do, and she wasn't really okay with that. But when I was 8 years old, I kind of made my parents do it, and I came to ballet school. It was a very, very nice ballet school. It was the main teacher was a ballerina before, she was already old, but before she was an amazing ballerina and great one. And she had an access to this amazing huge theater. I used to watch ballet every year. She had an access for kids to do just dance there. So basically it was a very nice ballet studio, and I came there and it was so good. I mean, I loved it. It was my dream since I was 5-6 years old, and I was already, no, I wasn't 8, I was 7 years old, and so then I understood what the ballet really looks like. So the teacher, she was from Slavic Union, so I think everybody knows the thing about Russian people being having the best I'll ever, like, in this country. And her technique was like in Russian ballet. So yeah, okay. So I used to go there every single day before. No, yeah, I used to go there every single day, like, but the weekend, so 5 days a week after school. And the lesson started at 8, and we used to finish at 10 or even 11 in the evening. And at first everything seemed so nice, so beautiful, like, you know, as I imagined. And then yeah, so basically we were not allowed to eat before the lesson. So I used to come from school, do all my homework, then I used to go to the ballet classes, and to get there I had like to go like 40 minutes on the car because it was quite far away, and we were not allowed to eat before the class. And it was okay, but then the teacher kind of revealed her true face, because before that she was kind of how to explain that, she was nice, but it was not truly who she was. So I remember she had this orange red hair, short cut, and she had a stick because I think she stopped doing ballet because she had a trauma or something. Anyway, her stick, and as she used to walk, it was like boom, boom, boom with her stick, and everybody used to just like pose in line and just not move, because it was like, you know the funeral, the church makes it, I don't know how to say it in English. Yeah, anyway, so I remember you're just staying there and you're praying so she doesn't look at you, like, please God, don't look at me. And she always used to look at us all, and she passes and she just randomly, she thinks you already passed, but she comes back and she hits you with her stick like really hard, like, and she started screaming, like, ugly cow, how can you do this, like, you're not graceful, move faster, and all the lessons it was like this. She used to hit us with her stick very hard. I had bruises at home, like I was coming, all my body was in bruises, like mostly legs and back, because I guess I deserved that. Because I was new, and half of the girls were doing it like since they were 5, and I started only at 7, so I had no such experience as they did. So she used to hit me because of it, and she didn't once remember my name. I had no name. I was or an ugly cow, or a little one, or the new one. And it was for everybody. She knew just a few names, and it was really an honor if she remembers your name. And the biggest thing I remember, it was we had a stretching lesson. So basically, another rule we had in class, it was we were not allowed to cry. I mean, whatever, if she hits you really hard, or she calls you very, very angry way, like she treats you not very well, or you just, because ballet is pain, you have no right to cry. She hated people who cried, like, it was quite competitive, and she used to just, she was very angry when girls were crying, so we were not allowed to do that. And I was like, yeah, it was a stretching lesson. Means like we were all very scared of it. It was quite rare, but it was horrible. And so we all like in line, and it's like to do le grand écart. I don't know how to say it in English. I know it's in French, but I have no idea how to say it in English. Le grand écart. You know when your legs do this? I don't know. Okay, anyway. So we were coming, like, one by one. Oh, yeah, wait. had to cut the video because my little brother called me. Anyway, yeah, so we were in line and we were waiting. Yeah, okay, so I remember a lot of girls just passed. She like helped them, and then there is this girl in front of me, and I know I'm right after her, so I'm kind of scared. And this girl, she like comes and they take 2 chairs and they put her leg on one chair, another on another chair, and 2 other girls take her legs from 2 different sides so she can't move. She's just like balancing between 2 chairs, like one leg another, and she's in the middle. You understand? And the teacher starting like pressing her down. So it was I was used for this kind of exercise, but I was never kind of used for people to press me. I never tried that. And then this girl, she like, we're not allowed to cry, but then she like, the teacher is pressing her harder, and then she suddenly starting like to scream, and she's crying and she's screaming, and the teacher is like pushing, and then she randomly like, she just lets her go, so the girl obviously falls on the ground, and she like with her stick, she's like pushing her, and she's like, get out of my class, I don't want to see you anymore, get out. And the girl is just crying, and I can see that she's in real big pain, and she moves like out of the class, and I never saw her again, and it was very scary. But let's come back to that moment, and I am just after her, so it's my turn. Cool. So obviously I'm just coming there, and they do the same thing to me, and I'm panicking because I can't make a sound because she's gonna do the same. She's already angry and she's gonna hit me right now. So I'm like panicking, and then she starts to press me, and I understood why that girl was screaming. It was so painful. I thought she gonna break my legs, honestly. It was horrible. And she's pressing me harder, and I don't know how haven't I cried. I made this face. I like made my teeth together like because it was so horrible. And I don't know, for me it was like as if it was for an hour. And then she let me go and she was like, good girl. It was a huge compliment, by the way. She never did that to me. And because I have to make a face as if I'm not going to cry now, I get to the wall because my legs don't want to listen to me, and I'm like, oh my god. And we have few hours of training still. So I took all my strength to stay good until the end of the class. We finished. And as I got out of the class, I just cried because all my body was in pain. It was so bad. Anyway, and she didn't take me to any of her spectacles because I wasn't good enough apparently. And that's just, I guess that was kind of a traumatizing for me, because it was my dream as I was a kid, and then you find out that it's not as pretty as you imagine it, and it actually really hurts, and you got insulted every day and you get hit every day, and in the end I just couldn't do it, and I was there for like 6 months and I stopped because it was absolutely horrible. Anyway, that's my experience. Yeah, and another thing I wanted to talk about, another little trauma. Okay, that's much harder. I wanted to let it for the end because apparently, I'm sure not everybody can watch this video to the end, so I'm very lucky if nobody sees this. But I think it really helps people to get the things out, so I just gonna talk about it, and I hope it will be better for me. So as I was younger, as I was 8, like not 7, 8, I came to the yacht club. You know, little boats, because I was living close to the sea, so I basically like 10 minutes from the sea, and I had my little boat, and I could go to the open sea after I would have some experience though. And I had a teacher, and he was like 77 or 75, I'm not sure, and he was very big, tall man, very old. And I actually, as I was a kid, I didn't have any experience with any, like I didn't have a grandpa as a kid, because one grandpa from my mother's side died as I was 6, and another grandpa I had didn't really talk to me. I didn't really felt him. Yeah, so I considered this trainer as my grandpa, kind of. And he was nice at first, and I liked him quite much, and I was obviously one of his favorites, and I just started observing, like it became complicated in the meaning of he never helped, like we had this complicated to wear costumes to swim, you know, because the water is cold, and if you fall in the water, like it's not very nice. And he never came to help boys to put them on, but he always used to come with the girls' change rooms to help us change. And I was always taking time because it was really complicated to wear, and it was more and more often that he used to come to my to my, like where I was changing, and he used to help me, and he started closing doors more often. Like he used to close the door and come to the changing rooms, and he started touching me. I mean, not like helping to change type. He used to get under my clothes and touch me, and I was a kid, I was 8 years old, and I understood something was wrong, but I could not really do anything. In the end, I got like, or sometimes he was just watching me change, like he was sitting and he had this weird look in his eyes, and God, I think that's disgusting. Okay, I need to talk about it. I just have to find the strength in me to do it. So he was normally touching my back or my neck, which was making me uncomfortable. So I tried to talk to him, and I said, like, can you please not look as I try to get changed? Like, it makes me uncomfortable, it makes me shy. Like, I didn't know how to explain it. And he never listened, and it continued like that. The biggest incident was he called me to his cabinet just to talk, and he asked me to close the door, which I obviously did, and he asked me to come closer, so I did this, and he pulled out a calendar with women without any clothes on in positions. I think you understand how they looked. And I already understood something was wrong, but the door was already closed, and I started to move slowly to the door, and he just pulled me by the arm. And I got quite scared because he was a very big man. I mean, and I was just tiny. I couldn't do anything. And then he started touching me, like he got under my clothes, and he started saying some very not nice things. And I was paralyzed. I couldn't move. That was so horrible. I mean, I should have screamed or hit him, or I don't know, do anything, but I was so scared. I don't know how to describe it. I was so scared. And then he said, like, they're not shy, why are you? And I couldn't do anything. And I'm sure he would have done that if not my brother knocked on the door. And I just ran out of the door, and it was horrible. I finished this club, like I stopped doing it because my mom thought the contract they signed was weird, because they asked to pay too much, and I obviously never told her because I was too shy, and I thought it was something I should be shy of. Like, now I know it wasn't my fault at all. Like, it was not okay. And but I think the hardest thing, like, then it wasn't even that bad, but then he started coming to me in nightmares. I mean, I couldn't sleep because of that. And the craziest thing started when, I mean, I always described it, I told, like, I just don't like people to touch my back, but as someone did, because obviously the back is the zone that everybody touches, like, you know, when they want you to pass or hug you or anything, it's kind of the zone everybody touches, like on my neck, on, like, when they want to put a necklace on. But I was starting to tremble, and I hate my body for this. I have it still, I can't get rid of it, but like now, for example, still, when somebody touches my back or neck, I just start tremble, like really, really hard, really, really bad, like this, you know, my body, I'm like, I can't stop it, I can't control it. I have this fear that I had then. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. I have a feeling that I'm back then, that I'm still 8 and I'm still in the closed room with him and I have nowhere to go. I have this panic all over me, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So after that, I have few things I'm scared of. I can't stay with men in the same room. I get panic. Like, I'm starting to be worried. I absolutely hate old men. I can't be with them. I can't stand when they, like in France, for example, this tradition when people have to kiss you in two lips. Or what I'm saying, in two cheeks, you got it. And I'm just very scared. I don't like it, and I mean, it became more hard because my friends are quite clingy, and it's very hard when they do it, and I don't want to, it's obvious. I mean, I want to make it the less seen possibly, like, so nobody notice it, but it's quite obvious when your friend is like trembling like this and they can't breathe. It's quite obvious that something is wrong, and they always started like asking me, and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to describe it. I just, anyway, the biggest thing happened. I was in the voyage I was going with school to Italy, and I was going on my bus, and there was an old man who wanted me to pass faster, and so he touched my back so I can move, but he touched it like this, you know, like. And God, I got to the bus, and I was shaking so badly. I think I was really shaking. I got like this in the bus, and I was like, I couldn't see one thing. I started crying very bad, and I couldn't breathe. I guess I had a panic attack then, and all my friends were trying to calm me down, and they tried to touch me, and I was like, please, I beg you, don't touch me. Please, 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 I beg you, don't touch me. You know, it was so scary. I mean, I saw the pity in their eyes. It was so disgusting. I was disgusted of myself, and I couldn't control my body, and I hate it. I hate that I can't stop it. Now I am better. I improved myself. I mean, when people just touch my back, I can freeze, and you know, I tense, of course, but I at least don't shake. But when people try to do like something, like, you got it? It's over for me. I can't do anything. I just can't control myself. So I just wanted to talk about it, and I haven't spoke about it for 5 years. First time I told someone, it was my friend in school, and I told her that, and then I took a courage and I told my mom about it, and she was very upset, and she said, why haven't you told me? Like, I would have done something. And then I found out he's dead. He died lately. Like, he was old, so it's obvious, but I was kind of sad because I had no possibility to just come to him now, look him in the eyes and ask him, like, you were my teacher. I was 8 years old. I was the age of your granddaughter. I was a kid, a child. How could you done that to, how even an adult can do this? What does he found attractive in a little child? I couldn't do anything. I was terrified, and he found it amusing. He liked it. He thought it was nice to do. Was it fun for him to do this? It left such a big thing in me, like a hole in me. I don't know if I'm scared of touch of my family or my friends. I don't know. I just can't stop it. I can't do anything. The people who do this, I don't understand it. And I wasn't like, I knew he wanted to do this, but he didn't. So I got very, very lucky. But the people who really experienced that, the women who really had men doing that to them, I feel so bad for them. I don't know. If me, I had not that much experience of this stuff, and I still can't move on after that. How are these women? I don't know. So I just wanted to say that, and so I can, just share it. And every time I talk about it, I understood that it kind of lifts me. Like, I feel better. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thank you.